Hello learners, welcome to this introductory session on the tourism marketing course. Well, you must have all heard about the term marketing. And everyone has their own perception of marketing and therefore they understand or interpret marketing in relation to their own activities. So when people are asked what they understand by marketing, we get mixed responses. Some related with selling. For example, if you go to the market and then you see people are buying and selling, so we tend to relate marketing with selling purpose. Then some would relate it with advertising, while some with public relations and so on. Well, each one of this, they describe or represent just one aspect of marketing. So what does this mean? This means that marketing is much more than just selling, or it is more than a promotion of a product. So today in this session, what we are going to do is we are going to define the term marketing and try to understand it. Then we will also explain the relevance of marketing in relation to tourism. Because tourism, you know, it is a multidisciplinary discipline. And what happens is in tourism, because everybody realizes, almost all the destinations have realized that with minimum amount of infrastructure available, tourism is a very good source of revenue. You can have, you don't need lots of infrastructure to start a tourism business. So all of these countries, the regions, states, etc., they are all jumping into it and then trying to take their pie of it. So how marketing is relevant to tourism, this is a very important aspect that we need to understand. Then we will also go back and look into the evolution, the history of marketing, how it started. And then lastly, we would look into the features of tourism marketing. Because tourism, like I said, this is a very specific and again, a multidisciplinary area. So there are certain characteristic features, and because of this feature, it also reflects on the marketing process. So we need to explain what are the features of tourism marketing. So to understand the concept of marketing, let us now look at some of the popular definition. According to Philip Kotler, now Philip Kotler is an American professor in international marketing, and he has written so many books on marketing. And many a times we refer to him as the father of modern marketing also. What he says is, marketing is the analysis, planning, implementation, and control of carefully formulated programs designed to bring about voluntary exchanges of values with target markets for the purpose of achieving organizational objectives. Then he further states that marketing relies heavily on designing the organization's offering in terms of the target market's needs and desire, and on using effective pricing, communication, and distribution to inform, motivate, and service the market. Now, if you look at this definition, there are certain things that we need to take note of. One is, marketing is a managerial process. And when you talk about it being a managerial process, then obviously it will involve researching, analysis, planning, implementation, control, evaluation. So marketing, it is a managerial process. Then, marketing is not just about random action to achieve the desired responses. On the contrary, it manifests itself in carefully formulated programs. So it is not like you just come up and then randomly goes for marketing. It has to be properly structured, properly formulated programs, and then you follow it step by step. Then third point is, marketing, it attempts to bring about voluntary exchanges of values. Now, voluntary, it means both the parties involved in the transaction, they should be willing to do the transaction, meaning it should not be a forced action. Now, the fourth point is that marketing, it means the selection of target markets. And here the attempt is not to serve every segment of the market, but to look for a specific segment, and then you market you apply your marketing strategy on that specific market. So it is not about the whole market, targeting the whole market. It is about targeting a very specific market. Then marketing depends on designing the organization's product or service in terms of the needs and desire of the target market or the consumers. Now, the purpose of marketing, it is to assist organization in their survival and growth by serving their markets more effectively. And the last part of the definition, it uses the logic that marketing uses effective pricing, then communication, because you need to communicate what you have. If you do not communicate what you have, the consumer will not be aware of the product or the services that you are offering. So communication is very important. And once communication is it has been communicated, your product or your service, whatever you are offering has been communicated, you have to make sure that distribution in order to inform, motivate, and service the market. Then let us look at another definition which is given by the British Institute of Marketing, wherein they define marketing as the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. So let's see how the American Marketing Association defines. They define marketing as the activity or a set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So from all this definition, we can identify certain activities or terms involved in the marketing process. And they include the term management, then formulated programs, voluntary exchanges or transaction, then identifying and satisfying the customer needs and you do this through market research, then product development according to the needs of the consumers there, target market using effective pricing, communication, distribution, all these things and achieving, and all these are done to achieve the organizational objective. Thus, we can say that the core of the objective of marketing is about getting the potential clients or customers interested in the products or services that you are offering. But because making consumers interested is not a very easy task, therefore you see a lot of complementary activities are involved in the marketing process. Research is being done to identify the consumer needs. Products are developed to fulfill these needs and wants. Then the appropriate pricing is to be fixed. Pricing is very important. People always have an assumption, if the price is very high, that the product must be good. If the price is low, then the product might not be good. So all these things are also important. That's why an appropriate pricing has to be fixed for the product or the service that you have on offer. Next, the consumer should be made aware of the existence of the product, and this is where the promotion comes into play. Then distribution is important because it is through the distribution channel that your product will be transferred from the production center to the places where consumers can easily buy them. If consumers are not facilitated, if they feel that the buying process, they have already decided that they will buy the product, if they are not finding it very convenient to buy it, then they might switch to a competitive product which is there in the market. So distribution channels, how you are going to reach, make your product reach to the customer, that is also very important. So marketing does fulfill certain functions, and marketing, it informs and engages the customer, sells the products and services, and they help to build the reputation of the business organization and also in furthering the growth of the organization itself. Now, in the context of tourism also, this basic principle of marketing, which has been developed and practiced in relation to the marketing of other consumer products and services, are also adopted, which means we adopt the marketing principles of consumer goods and services in tourism sector also. Whereas tourism, if you look at it, it is more of a service product. Let us look at what the UN World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, defines tourism marketing. They see marketing as a management philosophy, which in light of tourist demand, it makes it possible through research, forecasting and selection to place the tourism product on the market most in line with the organization's purpose for the greatest benefit. Now, 3 aspects are suggested in this definition. One is that marketing is a thought process, and this thought process is related to a situation which matches and balances the needs of the tourist with the needs of the destination or the needs of the organization's designing and then providing tourism related services. The second aspect of this definition is that tourism research is an inherent or an integral part of tourism marketing. Now, when we do the tourism research, it results in the identification and the selection of the target markets based on market segmentation. Now, market segmentation we will be discussing in the subsequent session also, but if you have to understand it, market segmentation is dividing a heterogeneous market into small homogeneous market so that you are able to concentrate. The organization is able to concentrate on that specific market segment. So this is what the market segmentation concept is all about. Now, in order to have a proper placement of tourism products and services, the marketing concept of positioning and the product life cycle are of great significance. Now, there is another prominent tourism researcher, Krippendorf, who says marketing in tourism is to be understood as the systematic and coordinated execution of business policy by tourist undertaking, whether they may be private or state-owned at local, regional, national or international level. And the aim is to achieve the optimal satisfaction of the needs of identifiable consumer groups, and in doing so to achieve an appropriate return. So if you look here also, what he is suggesting is he is also looking at the market segment. He is also talking about market research. He is also talking about, here he talks about in terms of the consumer, that is the tourist needs and the wants. And as you can see, the wants of the tourist, the needs of the tourist, it keeps on changing. And apart from this, there are also other views which says that marketing is an ongoing concern for any organization in tourism, and that it should not be treated as a one-time effort only. Obviously, it cannot be treated as a one-time effort. It is a continuous process. Just because you have taken up a marketing strategy and then you have run the marketing process, it does not end there. Because marketing, you need the feedback of the tourists, and then you have to go back, work on it, and then reevaluate, redesign your marketing strategy. So this is a continuous process. And then there are some which says marketing is the concern of everyone in the organization, and it is not only the marketing department which is responsible for marketing. This is true in the sense that if you're looking at the marketing department, no doubt they are the specific department which will look after the execution, the implementation, even the planning of the marketing strategy. But any other person working in that organization, when they go and talk to their family or their relatives and their social circle, then they are also in a sort of way, they're also talking about the products that the organization are having or the services which their organization, and they talk good things or bad things depending. So they are also part of the not exactly as part of marketing department, they may not be associated with it, but because they also promote their organization, so it is the concern of everybody in the organization. So you can see marketing in tourism is a very comprehensive process. Let us now look at how marketing has evolved. In the olden days, the barter system was prevalent. Now, this basically means exchange of goods and things. There was no medium of money currency as we have today. So people, what they do is they use goods and services for payment, and these payments are based on mutually perceived value instead of currency. For example, a vegetable farmer will exchange the vegetables which he or she grows with milk and butter from the dairy farmer. So you can see all these transactions, they do not involve any exchange of currency. However, each party, what they do is they get benefit from the transaction. And as civilization progresses, so many new inventions, so many new discoveries happens, and things kept on evolving. And money currency was introduced and accepted, and thus they became the mode of payment during transaction, and eventually the barter system, they become redundant and money was used for transaction of goods. So the development of marketing, you can say, is in fact the outcome of certain social and business pressures. Though the word marketing, it came into use in the 20th century, initially it was linked with a number of loosely related factors for achieving a sale. The consumer orientation then started to be accepted as a business concept only from the 1950s onwards. So you can see generally there are three distinct stages in the development of marketing and modern business practices. You have the production era or the period, the sales era and the marketing era. So in the production era stage, the management, what they do is they focused on the increasing efficiency of production and supply of products to the market. So you see the emphasis here is on consistently reducing the cost which is involved in production. So what they do is they develop a standardized product and it is offered at a lowest price. So in the production stage, the focus is more on producing and then coming up with a standardized product and which is offered at a lower price. Now the second is the sales era or the sales era stage. Now under this stage, the organization, they attempt to influence the market demand by adopting more effective means of selling and increasing their knowledge and different markets to improve their sales technique. So this is more about selling. Next is the marketing era. So this is also called as the consumer-oriented approach. Now the crucial shift here is when organization, they have started producing what they could sell rather than attempting to sell what they produced. So it comes away from the production and the sales era, and the marketing is the customer's needs, wants, taste and satisfaction. They were recognized as the key factors in planning and designing of the product which the organization was to produce and offer. That means the consumer now is the focal point. So these three eras, it correspond to three approach or concept of marketing: production concept, sales concept and marketing concept. The production concept, like we have discussed, as we have already said in the production era, it asserts that consumers prefer products that are cheap and that are available. So that is why their main focus was on increasing the production, and then but that also at a low cost so that it can be offered at a lower price to the consumer, because the production concept, it asserts that consumer they prefer products that are cheap and those are available. Thus manufacturers, suppliers and retailers, they focus on putting relatively inexpensive goods and services into the market in large quantities. Well, the selling concept, it is based on the idea that consumer will want only those products that are heavily sold to them. If you market to them, if you are selling to them, then they will buy it. Whereas the marketing concept, it focuses on a firm which evaluates the needs of the market or consumers and meeting consumers' needs better than the competition. Generally, there are 5 approaches or concepts which are recognized in marketing. So we have discussed 3 of them right now, the 3 concepts. So apart from these 3 concepts, there is also the product concept and the societal marketing concept. The product concept, what it asserts is that consumer will prefer product of a higher quality that provide enhanced performance. So here the focus is on producing quality product. The societal marketing concept is an extension of the marketing concept with the additional concentration on activities that protects and preserves apart from the consumer's well-being, but that also of the community at large. Now, it was previously mentioned that many people, they confuse selling with marketing, and many a times we use it synonymously also. But you can see that they are totally different. Let us see what are the difference between this selling and the marketing. As we know, selling focuses on the needs of the seller, marketing on the needs of the buyer. This is the first major difference between these two terms. Now, selling is preoccupied with the seller's need to convert his products into cash. Marketing is with the idea of satisfying the needs of the consumer by means of the product and the whole cluster of things associated with creating, delivering, and finally consuming it. So according to the sales concept or the sales orientation, an organization believes that the size of the market can be increased by, say, increasing the selling effort. But such an organization, what they do is they do not change its product according to the consumer needs, but on the contrary, what they do is they keep on increasing the advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and other demand creating activities for the product, because the aim is to achieve profit by increasing the volumes of sale. Whereas in the market concept or in marketing, the focus is on the consumer needs, where marketing is utilized to gain the profit through customer satisfaction. So in the context of tourism, there were certain factors that led to the emergence of the marketing era, because even in tourism also it went through these stages, and from production to selling to marketing era, and there were certain factors which are very peculiar and which led to the emergence of the marketing era. One is the increases in demand were at a lower rate than the rise in productivity. For example, there was an oversupply of accommodation in certain destinations. Lots of hotels are being made. Then aircraft seats on important routes and tourism suppliers. So there was an oversupply. When an oversupply comes, then obviously you need to find a certain type of distinction. Now that distinction, where it comes from the consumer satisfaction. So if you are to satisfy your consumer, then obviously you have to know their needs. And this is what the marketing concept is all about, satisfying the consumer's need. Then the increase in competition in the market along with the risks. So the need for survival and growth, it led the producer of the tourism services towards consumer orientation. They select their market, attempt to understand the consumer need and test, and started designing products which suited the consumer. The purchasing power of the consumer was going up, and a need was felt to develop methods for creating and changing consumers' attitude and belief. The third point is, with increase in travel, particularly with the emergence of the long-haul traveler or people who travel for long distances, there was a need for creating marketing research regarding information on market trends, then understanding the consumer behavior, and then evaluating the levels of satisfaction of the user of tourism products and services. The fourth point is economic and social development. It led to the segmentation of mass market into specialized target market. You see, businesses in tourism, they were dominated by small companies. They are still dominated by small companies for whom it was difficult to reach and cater to the mass market. So this further encouraged the need for catering to selected target markets. Today, marketing techniques, they are used by practically all segments of the tourism industry, which includes both profit-making as well as non-profit-making organization. And in a way, the changes which have been taking place in relation to the consumer attitude, market forces and the producers of tourism products have made it essential to adopt this marketing technique, or else it would be very difficult for the organization to survive in the competitive situation. Now let us talk about the business orientation in marketing. It can be said that marketing is a business philosophy. in which the consumer and his needs are in the forefront of all the activities. For example, you may have a very good tourism product, but if the access to the product is difficult, there is no accommodation infrastructure, less of hotels or motels are there, leisure and entertainment facilities are missing, the product-oriented approach in marketing might fail. Why? Because the tourist is not just about going to the destination because of its attraction, but because of fast access, accommodation, leisure and entertainment facility. At the same time, tourists have their own needs, preferences and taste. So product orientation, it focuses solely on the product, and in tourism, the product is not a standalone product. It is an amalgamation of products, services and experiences. Then again, the system-oriented organization can also fail. So what is a system-oriented organization? In this philosophy, the system-oriented organization, they know that their products are acceptable. And what is required is identification of markets and methods of selling. Now, such business philosophy, it works only when there is shortage of supply and little competition, and which is very rare in tourism industry. So this organization, when they have this business philosophy in mind, what they do is they go for improvement within the organization rather than concentrating on the tourist needs. So in tourism, this one will also fail. So the ideal approach for organizing business in the modern tourism market is the integrated orientation. Now this approach, what it does, it is governed by market research to provide an understanding of the tourist, marketplace and the business. And then the development of products and promotion is based on the feedback from the tourists themselves. So this, in a way, it ensures the success of the products in the market, and the marketing budget is efficiently utilized for customer satisfaction or the tourist satisfaction. So a consumer-oriented marketing philosophy, it brings the organization not only a good image in the market, but also a reputed market standing. And in tourism, every tourist, they want to be treated as a special consumer, and any organization catering to this attitude of the tourist will naturally be ahead of other competitors. It's very simple. The logic is simple. If you are able to satisfy your tourist, the consumer that you have, then obviously they will come back to you and they will be repeat customers again. At the same time, the consumer-oriented market philosophy has to go deep into the mind of the decision makers, obviously, and the employee of the organization. So, and the task that is to be undertaken by this organization would be first to identify the needs of the tourists. This is done through market research. The market opportunity have to be analyzed through market segmentation. The needs of the tourists have to be translated into products through production, product planning and design. The value of tourism product and services is to be determined through a pricing policy. Then the product has to be made available to the tourists through distribution, and the tourists have to be informed and motivated through promotion, which includes advertising and selling. It is not only limited to advertising and selling, because when we talk about tourism, we also need to talk about the sales promotion. Then we have to talk about the public relation. What type of relationship the organization have with the public is also very important. For example, we have cases like FEM tours or familiarization tour, wherein we call the organization or the tour operators, if they have a tour package, so they go to other areas where the market is there, and then the supplier, they invite them over. So this may be people who are already in the business, or they are journalists, or they are maybe even in social media, the influencers. So they will invite them and they will make them sample or go through the itinerary of the tour package that they have. And once they go back, these people, because they have been familiarized with the products and services, they go and write about it, they go and promote it. So this is also one form of promotion. So we have different types of ways and means how it has to be promoted or taken to the consumer, so that the consumer becomes aware of what you have to offer to them. So let us now sum up what we have discussed in this session so far. We have talked about the term marketing, and we have also talked about the relevance of marketing in relation to tourism, because tourism is a multidisciplinary and you have lots of intermediary in it. It is not about a single product, it is an amalgamation or the combination of various products and services, and also the experiences of the tourist is involved in the product itself. Then we have also looked into the evolution of marketing, how it has gone from the production to the sales era and then to the marketing concept. And then we have also talked about how the different types of market orientation in marketing is there are 5 concepts, out of which the marketing concept is the one which everybody has been following, because of the simple fact that it is the consumer which moves the market, it is the consumer which decides the market, it is the consumer which is, if they are satisfied, then they become they come to the organization which serves them the best. So this is for the introductory session on the tourism marketing, and I'll be meeting you in the next session. Thank you so much.